I have been a practicing doctor long enough to walk into a room and just by looking at a person, not their chart, not their labs, just looking at them, I can mostly tell if they have insulin resistance. Now, there is no magic trick here. It is just knowing how to recognize a pattern. And by the end of this video, you are going to be able to do it too. So stick with me, and I am going to show you the one sign that is around your neck that not many people may connect to insulin resistance. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Bazgha Khalid, and I'm a board certified internal medicine and obesity medicine specialist, and I diagnose and treat insulin resistance every day in my clinic. So let's back up for a second and understand what is insulin resistance. Think of insulin like a key and your cells like locked doors. Every time you eat, especially foods with carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Insulin acts like the key that opens the door of your cells, letting sugar to move from your blood into your cells where it can be used for energy. But when this happens over and over for years in response to consistently high sugar intake, your cells can start to become less sensitive to insulin. It's like hearing the same alarm every morning for years, and eventually your brain starts to ignore it. Your cells begin to ignore insulin signal the same way. Your body tries to fix the problem by making more insulin. More keys to open the doors. For a while this works and your blood sugar tests may still look normal, but behind the scenes your body is working harder than it should. Before blood sugar becomes abnormal, your body may already be sending stress signals like stubborn weight gain, increased belly fat, low energy, cravings, and poor sleep. Learning to recognize these signs and symptoms of insulin resistance early can help you improve your metabolic health before bigger problems develop. Let's talk about the physical signs and symptoms that may indicate insulin resistance. Number one is the waist to height ratio. Waist to height ratio is a simple way to estimate how much belly fat or visceral fat you carry, which is strongly linked to insulin resistance. Wrap a tape measure around your waist, midway between your lowest rib and the top of your hip bone to get your waist circumference. And here's the formula to calculate waist to height ratio. Waist to height ratio equals waist circumference divided by height. Use the same units for both measurements, whether it is inches or centimeters. For example, if the waist circumference is 36 inches and height is 64 inches, 36 divided by 64 equals 0.56. Your waist to height ratio is 0.56. But what does this number actually mean? Waist to height ratio of less than 0.5 carries lower risk for insulin resistance and often considered a healthy target. Ratio of 0.5 to 0.59 carries increased risk for insulin resistance and metabolic problems. And waist to height ratio of 0.6 or higher means higher risk for insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction. A simple rule to remember: keep your waist less than half your height. For example, if your height is 5'4" or 64 inches, waist ideally should be under 32 inches. And if your height is 6 feet or 72 inches, waist should ideally be less than 36 inches. A high waist to height ratio often reflects excess visceral or belly fat around the organs, which can make cells less responsive to insulin, even if your blood sugar tests still look normal. Number two sign of insulin resistance is skin tags. Little skin tags, especially on the neck, under the arms, or the eyelids. People may think they're just one of those things that happen with age, but skin tags may not be random at all for some. These show up because high insulin literally tells skin cells to grow, and skin tags can be a sign of insulin resistance. The number three sign of insulin resistance, and this is the one I mentioned in the start of the video, are the dark velvety patches of skin. These could be at the back or the sides of the neck, armpits. These are called acanthosis nigrans in medical terms. Just picture these as soft, dark, almost dirty looking patches of skin that won't scrub off. This is insulin at high levels changing your skin texture and pigmentation. Number four symptom of insulin resistance is the energy crash. You may know that feeling an hour or two after lunch where you suddenly need a nap or you get shaky and irritable. That's not just being tired. That's your blood sugar swinging hard because insulin isn't doing its job anymore due to insulin resistance. Number five symptom of insulin resistance is waking up hungry or waking up 2 or 3 in the morning for no reason. This one may surprise you because blood sugar dropping too low overnight can actually wake you up, and this happens due to body trying very hard to regulate high blood sugar by releasing more and more insulin. Okay, so let's talk about why the signs and symptoms I mentioned so far happen in the first place. It's not really just about sugar. It's about how often insulin gets released and how high it spikes day after day for a very long period of time. Every time you eat something that turns into sugar fast, like white bread, juice, cereal, soda, even healthy snacks like granola bars, insulin gets released to deal with it. If you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, snacking all day, your insulin almost never gets to rest. It's like a worker who never gets a lunch break. Eventually, that worker burns out. Add in chronic stress because stress hormones like cortisol also raise blood sugar, and add in poor sleep, which messes with insulin sensitivity within just a few nights. And all of this makes a perfect storm for insulin resistance. There is a real science behind every sign and symptom I just talked about. Research on acanthosis nigrans, that dark neck patch, has shown it's strongly linked with high insulin levels circulating in the blood, even before blood sugar itself becomes abnormal. Waist circumference and waist to height ratio have also been studied for years as a stronger predictor for metabolic problems than BMI alone, because BMI cannot tell the difference between muscle and visceral fat. And there is research on something called postprandial reactive hypoglycemia, that sudden crash in blood sugar after eating, showing it is an early marker for insulin resistance, often showing up years before someone gets labeled pre-diabetic on lab tests. So, this is not a guess. This is connecting dots that already exist in research. Let me talk about the biggest misunderstanding I see over and over again. People think my labs are normal, so I am fine. I hear that constantly. But like I said earlier, your body can hide insulin resistance for years by just cranking out more and more insulin behind the scenes. Normal blood sugar with high insulin is not the same as being metabolically healthy. It just means your pancreas is working overtime quietly, but it will not be able to do that forever. The second mistake, thinking that insulin resistance is only an overweight or obese person problem. The fact is, it is not. I have had lean patients with neck patches, the afternoon crashes, the whole picture. Insulin resistance doesn't care about the number on the scale, it cares about what's happening inside the cells. Okay, so what do you actually do if you notice one or two of these signs or symptoms in yourself? First thing, give insulin a break between meals. That doesn't mean to starve yourself, it means stop the constant snacking. 3 meals or even 2 with real space in between gives your body a chance to let insulin levels come back. Second, protein and fiber first at every meal. This blunts the blood sugar spike, which means insulin doesn't have to work as hard. Number 3, walk after you eat, just 10 minutes. Your muscles can pull sugar out of your blood without even needing insulin to do it when you're moving. It honestly is one of the cheapest, most powerful tools there is to keep your insulin levels low. And fourth, protect your sleep like it's part of your treatment plan, because it is. And fifth and most importantly, discuss these symptoms with your doctor and get some basic tests like blood sugar, hemoglobin A1C, and fasting insulin. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Long before blood sugar becomes abnormal, your body is already trying to get your attention. It speaks through low energy, stubborn belly fat, skin changes, poor sleep, and constant cravings. The key is learning to recognize these early warning signs before insulin resistance or prediabetes develops. Let me know in the comments if you have been diagnosed with insulin resistance or prediabetes, and if you have noticed any of these signs and symptoms that I talked about. I have a video on tips to reverse prediabetes. I'll post it in the description below. And hit subscribe if this video was useful, and share it with a loved one who will benefit from this. Stay happy, stay healthy and well. See you in the next one. Bye for now.